Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me and thank you for your continued support. Today is it's a sad situation, this article that I was reading about a man called Adrian Poulton, who and I'm sure you've read this on the news already or on social media, a man who had Down syndrome, and he was sadly starved in hospital, to the point where unfortunately he died in hospital from being starved. He was 56 years old and he fell and broke his hip, so that's the reason why he was taken to hospital in the first place. And his hip was healing, but for some reason, and I can't see any reasons why it was done. I think there might be an investigation going on. He was everyone was told that he was nil by mouth, so he wasn't fed. He wasn't given any nutrition. Now his family thought he was being given some nutrition. That's why they didn't question anything. But he wasn't, and he wasn't fed for around 9 days. And he actually said to his family that he didn't want to die. And soon after that, it got to the point where he was so poorly that even though they realised he hadn't eaten, it was too late. And unfortunately, 2 weeks after he went into hospital, he passed away. Absolutely awful story, this. Absolutely awful. Now, I do commend the work that doctors and nurses do. I think it's absolutely amazing, some of the work that they do in hospitals to keep people safe and keep them well. But something like this needs to be investigated, and I think it is going to be investigated if it hasn't already. But the situation here is that I think a lot of it is down to certain conditions such as Down syndrome, certainly a lot of mental health issues. They're just not understood enough in hospitals anymore. There's no specialist training in it, or none that I can see anyway. And I know that the Hospital Trust have apologised, and they've said that they've investigated and have put in training to help deal with this situation. But it should never have got to this in the first place. You know, this person had Down syndrome. Surely there was someone they could have called on to get some help or advice. Surely there should have been better checks involved into why this has happened. Were they not checking whether he was eating or not? Did they not check why he was nil by mouth? You know, who gave that order that he should be nil by mouth? It's absolutely appalling. And you know, I know there has been a sense there's been an investigation, and the trust have apologised, but I think this is absolutely awful situation, and it shows that I think that more training needs to be done for certain conditions such as Down syndrome, where they can, you know, get more input and have specialist input into the situation, but also more checks in place to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. You know, that if someone is nil by mouth and for genuine reasons, then it should be regularly reviewed to make sure they still need to be nil by mouth, or whether they can now be, you know, they can now have food. It shouldn't be the case that someone should go for 9 days without eating and never be checked up on and never find out why they're still nil by mouth. That just seems absolutely bizarre to me. But anyway, it's shocking, absolutely shocking. Let me know down in the comment section what you think. Please do let me know what your thoughts are. Subscribe if you've got this far, of course, and I'll see you next time.